Has anyone ever whispered to you what life beyond 80 truly holds? It is not always the serene picture of cozy evenings and sage reflections. Aging can bring unexpected struggles, from a body that falters to emotions that weigh heavier than you ever imagined. You have lived a rich life, filled with triumphs and trials. But crossing into your 80s ushers in changes that catch many by surprise. This video is not about dwelling on hardship. It is about arming yourself with clarity and courage. We are diving into 7 unfiltered truths about growing older, equipping you to meet these challenges with resilience, grace, and purpose. Let us get started. Truth number 1, the silent thinning of your tribe. As you settle into your ochentas, you may notice the people who once wove your days together start to unravel. Friends who filled your evenings with stories or joined you for a stroll are no longer there. Some lost to time, others to distant care homes. Neighbors, whose porch chats were a daily ritual, pack up for new chapters elsewhere. Even your family, the ones who once turned to you for everything, drift into their own orbits, caught up with work, grandkids, or their own struggles. The lively buzz of phone calls and visits slows to a trickle, replaced by brief messages or silence. It is not a lack of care, but the tide of life pulling them away. This fading circle leaves more than a quiet house. It stirs a deep, aching loneliness. You might feel like a shadow, slipping out of sight in a world that keeps spinning. Social gatherings, once a spark of joy, now demand a toll. A lunch date means wrestling with fatigue or straining to hear over clattering plates. You pose, wondering if the effort outweighs the reward. And more often, you choose the comfort of home. Each missed event builds a wall, and you start to feel unseen, as if your presence no longer leaves a mark. Sandra Bashası felt this keenly when she skipped a local craft fair. Days passed, and no one reached out to ask where she was. The sting was not in the event itself, but in realizing her absence went unnoticed, like a whisper lost in the wind. Yet, there is a way forward, a chance to mend the fabric of connection. You can plant new seeds with small, brave steps. Pen a letter to a distant cousin, or share a smile with a librarian who knows your taste in mysteries. Offer your wisdom to a teen at a community center, watching their face light up at your tales. These moments do not erase the past, but they weave new threads, reminding you that you still belong. One genuine bond, a person to swap stories or sit quietly with, can steady your heart. Your worth remains, unshaken by the years. It takes effort to step out, to join a knitting group, or say yes to a neighbor's tea. But each act keeps you in the light. This truth carries weight, but it is not your whole story. Your voice, your experience, still shapes the world. Reach out. Even if it feels daunting, someone is waiting for the gift of you. Truth number 2, your body's quiet defiance. As you cross into your ochentas, your body starts playing by new rules, ones it does not share with you. One morning, you stride easily down the hall. The next, your knees protest with a stubborn ache. Your appetite, once hearty, might vanish, leaving you puzzled over a half-eaten plate. Sleep, too, becomes a fickle friend. Times wrapping you in restful nights. Other times, abandoning you to stare at the ceiling at 3 a.m. These shifts are not always loud or obvious. It is the subtle changes, the stiffness in your fingers, the sudden need for a nap, that catch you off guard. It feels like a betrayal, as if the body you have known for decades is rewriting its own script. This unpredictability carries a heavy emotional weight. You might feel unsteady, not just in your steps, but in your sense of self. The effort to seem fine, To smile through a grocery run or laugh at a friend's joke takes more energy than anyone sees. You plan your day around your body's good moments, maybe skipping a favorite dish to avoid discomfort, or resting before a walk to save strength. Younger folks might not notice, seeing only the you who still shows up, not the internal tug-of-war it takes to get there. The hardest part, the uncertainty, is this ache a new normal or a passing quirk? Should you call the doctor or wait? That not knowing can wear you down, making you question the body you thought you could trust. Yet, there is strength in adapting. Small, steady habits can be your anchor. Try sipping warm water each morning to wake your system gently. A few minutes of soft stretching before bed can ease your joints. Step outside for 10 minutes of sunlight, letting its warmth remind you you are still here, still moving. These acts are not about fighting change, but dancing with it, showing your body you are still its partner. One man, Henry Boschesen, said a daily walk to his mailbox, slow as it was, became his way of saying, I am still in this game. This truth stings, but facing it builds resilience. Hit subscribe and tap the bell so you never miss a video. Your support fuels more content to uplift and inform. Now, let us keep going. Truth number 3, the fading web of connection. When you step into your 80s, you might notice something quiet but profound. The people who once filled your days with laughter, shared stories, and warm familiarity start to slip away. It is not always dramatic. Sometimes it is a friend who passes, leaving a void where weekly chats used to be. Other times, it is a neighbor who moves to a care home, or family members caught up in their own whirlwind of responsibilities. Your phone, once buzzing with calls, grows still. The Sunday brunches, the quick hellos over the fence, the voices that knew your quirks in history, they dwindle. This is not because love fades, but because life shifts in ways you cannot control. This change cuts deeper than an empty calendar. It brings a loneliness that feels like standing in a crowded room. Yet no one sees you. You might feel invisible, as if your stories, your vibrant past, are fading into the background. The ache is real. Waking up to a world where fewer people recall the you who danced at weddings or built a life brick by brick. It is not just about missing company. It is about losing the mirrors that reflect who you are. You might wonder if you still hold a place in the world. If anyone would notice if you skipped a day of routine, that weight, that sense of being unseen, can settle into your bones, making the days feel heavier. But here is the spark of hope. You have the power to weave new threads of connection. Even now, the old circle may be smaller, but new bonds can form. Consider volunteering at a local shelter, where your wisdom can light up someone else's day. Or try small, steady steps, like chatting with the barista who knows your coffee order, or joining a seniors card game at the community center. These moments are not about replacing what was lost, but about planting seeds for new warmth. One woman, Glada Bashar, found joy in a weekly book club. She said it was not the books, but the smiles and shared laughs that made her feel alive again. This truth is hard, no question. The fading of familiar faces is one of aging's sharpest edges, but naming it gives you strength. Reach out, even if it feels awkward at first. A single conversation, a shared nod with a stranger, can be a lifeline. Your story is far from over, and there is someone out there waiting to hear it. Keep showing up, because your presence still matters. Truth number 4, the burden of outliving others. When you reach your 80s, life often hands you a bittersweet burden. You remain while others fade. Friends who laughed with you over late-night card games, siblings who knew every secret of your childhood, even the spouse who shared your quiet mornings, They slip away one by one. Each goodbye carves a hollow space, leaving you as the keeper of moments no one else holds. You might recall a summer picnic from 1965, the way your brother's joke made everyone choke with laughter, or the soft hum of your partner's voice planning tomorrow's errands. These memories glow vividly, but the ache comes from knowing you alone carry them now. This loneliness is unlike any other. It is not just the absence of voices at the dinner table. It is the silence of shared history. No one left to chuckle over that old family story, or nod at the mention of a long-gone neighbor. You become the last witness to your own life. And that weight can feel like a stone in your chest. With it comes a quiet guilt, not born of fault, but of survival. Why am I still here when they are not? You might wonder, replaying missed chances to call or moments you could have held closer. This survivor's guilt weaves into the grief, making every sunrise a reminder of who is missing. The world moves on, but you linger in a gallery of faces only you can see. Yet, within this sorrow lies a profound strength, the power to keep their legacies alive. Your voice can breathe life into those who are gone, sharing their stories with a neighbor, a grandchild, or even a stranger. Tell of your sister's courage, your friend's wit, the love that shaped your days. Each tale is a spark, ensuring they are not forgotten. One man, Thomas Bashalil, found solace in recounting his wife's passion for gardening to a local club. Through his words, her roses bloomed again in listeners' hearts. Your memories are not a burden but a bridge, connecting past to present. This truth is heavy, but it honors your resilience. If it resonates, type number 4 in the comments to share. You are here. Subscribe and hit the bell to stay with us. Your support keeps these stories alive, inspiring others. Now, let us move forward together. Truth number 5, the shrinking of personal freedom. When you step into your 80s, you might notice a quiet shift in how the world treats you. Even if your mind is sharp and your spirit strong, others begin to make choices for you, as if age has dimmed your ability to decide. Your children, out of love or worry, might insist on driving you to the store. Though you have navigated those roads for decades, they may hover over your meals, questioning if you should have that slice of pie, or nudge you to rest when you feel fine. These small acts, meant to protect, can feel like a leash, pulling you away from the independence you have earned. This overmanagement chips away at your sense of self. You know your limits. You have lived a life of weighing risks and rewards. Yet suddenly your voice carries less weight. Conversations shift, and your preferences seem to matter less. It is not malice, but it stings all the same, leaving you feeling like a guest in your own life. One woman, Joyce Bashasu, shared how her daughter took charge of her days, planning everything from her walks to her bedtime reading. Joyce could still manage these tasks, but the constant oversight made her feel small, like a child under watch. She longed to say, "I am still me," but the words felt hard to voice. That loss of control is not just frustrating, it is a wound to your dignity, a reminder that others see you as fragile, even when you do not. But here is the truth. Worth holding your agency is yours to protect. Setting boundaries is not selfish. It is a stand for your worth. You can say, "Thank you, but I will handle this." Or, "I appreciate your care, but let me choose." It might surprise those around you at first, but it teaches them to see you as you are, capable and deserving of respect. Your choices, from what you eat to how you spend your afternoons, are not just habits, they are pieces of your identity. Guarding them keeps you anchored to the world. Joyce began speaking up, gently but firmly, and found her daughter listen, giving her space to breathe again. This reality is a challenge, but it is also a call to stand tall. Your life, your decision, still matter. Hold fast to your voice, because it carries the weight of a life well lived. Truth number 6, the silent grief of outliving your world. When you reach your 80s, you carry a sorrow that settles softly, like dust on a forgotten shelf. The people who shaped your life, friends who shared your wildest dreams, siblings who knew your childhood games, the partner who held your hand through every storm, they fade one by one. This is not the sharp sting of a single loss, but a quiet, steady ache. A grief that lingers in the spaces where their voices used to be. You might wake to a memory of a long-ago laugh, only to realize there is no one left to share it with. The world keeps turning, but you feel unmoored. Adrift in a sea where the anchors of your past have slipped away. This loneliness is a shadow, always there, coloring the simplest moments. You might set the table for one and feel the weight of empty chairs. The inside jokes, the stories of your youth, they live only in you now. And that solitude can make you feel like a stranger in a forward-moving world. One man, Charles Bashichi, described it as a slow unraveling. He had been to countless funerals, each one taking a piece of his life with it. He spoke of standing at a friend's graveside, realizing no one else remembered their late-night talks about fishing or the dreams they spun under the stars. That loss, he said, was like losing a part of himself, leaving him to wonder how to keep going. But here is the spark within this truth. You can still find joy by opening your heart to new faces. Grief does not demand you close the door. It asks you to let it walk beside you as you reach out. Invite a neighbor for tea, join a local art class, or share a story with someone younger who listens with wide eyes. These connections do not replace the past, but they weave new light into your days. Charles found solace in chatting with a young volunteer at his community center. Their talks are a reminder that life still holds warmth. Staying open, even when it feels risky, is how you keep your spirit alive. This truth is heavy, but it does not define you. If it speaks to you, drop number 6 in the comments to let me know you are here. Subscribe and tap the bell to stay with us. Your support keeps these stories flowing, inspiring us all. Now, let us press on. Truth number 7, embracing your fragility with poise. As you navigate your ochentas, you begin to notice a shift in the body you have trusted for so long. Tasks once done without thought, like buttoning a shirt or climbing a short staircase, now demand extra care. A cup of tea might tremble in your hands, or rising from a soft chair feels like a small battle. These moments are not constant, but they appear unannounced. Each one a reminder that your body has new limits. This fragility can shake your confidence, making you hesitate before a solo walk, or question whether you can still cook that favorite recipe. You start shaping your day not by what you wish to do, but by what feels safe. And that shift can make your world feel smaller, as if the life you knew is slipping out of reach. Yet, this vulnerability is not a sign of defeat. It is a call to adapt with grace. Accepting these changes does not mean giving up. It means listening to your body's wisdom. One woman, Nancy Bashisu, found beauty in this truth. She once saw her cane as a symbol of weakness, but now she calls it a badge of her journey. "I earned this," she said, gripping it proudly. It tells the story of a life I have walked with courage. Her words shift the perspective, turning tools and adjustments into allies, not enemies. Using a grab bar in the bathroom, asking a neighbor to carry a heavy bag, or taking extra time to tie your shoes. These are not losses. They are choices that preserve your strength and keep you in the world. Adapting is your quiet power. It means choosing what matters most, saving your energy for the moments that light up your heart, like reading to a grandchild or tending a small garden. Those who embrace these changes often stay independent longer, moving through life with a steady resolve. Denying fragility can lead to strain, but working with it builds resilience. You are not less for needing help. You are wise for knowing when to ask. Each step, however careful, is a testament to your enduring spirit. This truth asks for humility, but it offers strength in return. Your life, with all its richness, still shines through every choice you make. Carry your fragility with pride, because it is proof of a long, meaningful road, and you are still traveling it with grace. Wrapping up, aging past 80 brings tough truths, but you can meet them with courage, not dread. Your worth shines bright. Your stories matter. Stay open. Share your heart and choose kindness. Let curiosity guide you. Even when steps slow, you are never a burden, always a gift. Drop one thing you learned in the comments. Hit like, subscribe, and share to keep these insights coming. Thanks for watching. Your voice inspires us. See you next time.